Hi, it's your host, Galactic Seabass, here for the 14th episode of the Galactic Seabass podcast. I'm here today with a really good friend of mine, my buddy, Rafael DeCamargo is here in town, and we are going to go ahead and have a nice little episode here. That was a weird intro. He's a nationally touring comedian. He's really funny. He's a good friend of mine. Go way back. I would like to introduce you to my buddy, Rafael.
How's it going?
Hello. I'm going to fix this angle super fast.
Thanks for having me. I came in my comfiest of attire for you. I'm in my fucking PJs.
You look dapper, dude. I'm not going to lie. All right, sick. Let's get it.
I wanted to be comfortable.
Well, let's get it. Hello, welcome.
Thanks,
Welcome
man.
back.
Thanks for
Let's
having
bring back
me.
memories.
Yeah. I mean, just being in San Diego.
Yeah.
It's been really good. You know, it's good to see a bunch of people and, yeah, you know, a lot of memories here for me. So it's always good to come home to somewhere, you know, where you feel like people know who you are.
I love that. Yeah, I loved having you in OB for a little bit. That was a cool.
Yeah, I appreciate you putting me up, man.
That was
You know,
fun. Yeah.
That was a wild few years of just living on couches between different comics and, you know, it was rough, man, but...
We had similar experiences in that regard for sure. Like, I wasn't trying to make it as a comic, but just couch hopping between, like, people and not having a super stable place was definitely, like, a hardship that not everybody's experienced it. And then you meet those people that have lived in their house their whole life.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting dynamic. So
Like, it's just not like crashing on HBO. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
not bumping into famous.
everybody's
You know, like
got your
yeah,
back.
Yeah. You're not going on the road with fucking people. Yeah, it's just it was that experience, but you know, like the real gritty version of that.
Yeah.
But it made. I mean,
So
all
how's
I had was comedy, dude. It made me focus more on like I need to get out of this situation. Like I need to get good at this. You know.
And yeah, so you left San Diego, you went to Austin, Texas.
Yeah, which you know.
So how's that life comparatively, I suppose?
Well, I mean, it's like being the new kid at school. Like.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's pretty much like that. And also, I mean, this is a school that kids are coming every day to attend, you know?
Okay.
So I'm just like one of many people who moved there in the last few months. So like there's this big boom that's happening in Austin. And
Right.
And I will say, man, it's hard to keep it to like there's so many people that you're meeting and like there's just so many shows happening and like new clubs going up every day and stuff. So it's an exciting time, but yeah, it's like it's frustrating being in any new scene, like moving anywhere. You know, it's gonna be tough. Excuse me, it's gonna be tough. So it's been good. Like I'm really enjoying the stage time. Like the stage time that I do get in Austin is fucking amazing. Like my first show, dude, I went up and I did that joke that I have about how I just became an American citizen.
Yeah. Right.
And I was doing this thing, which I was mostly doing on the road, but since it was my first in Austin, I just to get a feel, you know, I was like, hey, does anyone want to yell out where you think that I'm from? And I swear to God, this lady immediately went, Jew. So, I was like, wow, it's good to be in Texas, you know what I mean? I was like, all right, that's where we are. And I was like, and I asked her too, I was like, what is it? Like, 'cause my hair was down, I was like, is it the curly hair? Or like, she's like, no, it's your profile. So I was like, oh, I have a big nose. But I was like, she completely missed the question, you know, nationality, not religion. And
yeah, this isn't, I don't know.
It's Jerusalem, not Jerusalem.
Can you find Jew on a map? I think. I would like to see that.
But, so, you know, it's been really fun, man. And it's like a really eclectic crowds out there. You know, people of all different ideologies and walks of life. And it's been really interesting.
From what I've only been to Austin once in 2014 for a BMX jam, but I don't really know too much about the city.
People out there are psyched for it. You know, people want to see live comedy.
Is it more of like a conservative city?
No, it's pretty liberal, you know.
Really, it's still
but there's
liberal.
a lot of conservatives there.
Okay.
Like that, it should. So like these shows, like you'll have like, you know, someone with blue hair and then a guy with a cowboy hat. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
In the same row.
That's a huge yeah.
Right, and those people are laughing at the same time, which is really interesting to see.
That is interesting.
So if you're joking, you know what I mean? Like
the dynamic is
you're
intense.
really playing in this like it's really purple, I guess. You know, it's a mix of the red and the blue.
Very Mace Windu.
And they all come to like hear ideas, and you know, it's fucking crazy, man. It's pretty fun. Like I enjoy it. It's a weird place.
You're getting a good amount of stage time.
Mm-hmm. Like I know people out there who I've known from a long time ago who have been out there, you know, which kind of was like an incentive to move out there because like I already know some people, and they've been very nice and they've been putting me up and I've been getting like regular spots at certain places, like, which is cool, man. Like they're keeping me, you know, in the water out there.
Right.
So yeah, I'm getting some stage time, but I'm also, dude, I've done the road once or twice a month since I moved out there. So like I'm there for 2 weeks and then I'm gone
Wow.
for 2 weeks or a week, or like I'm gone for an entire week and then I'm coming back. I'm working my day job Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'm back on the road for another 3 days.
What's your favorite city in the last few months that you saw?
Dude, we did a show in Arkport, New York on this last tour.
Say Arkport?
Arkport, New York.
Arkport? Okay.
Yeah. Very, very beautiful place. You know, not what I would think of New York at all. And the show was literally in a cornfield. It was at a winery that was literally, they cut a square out of it, and there was a winery in the middle of this cornfield, and I was like, get out of town, you know?
That's pretty cool.
I looked out, when I was on stage, I looked out the window, and there I could see a cow, like, like a football field away from me, which is like something that's never happened to me as a comedian, where I looked out the window and there was a fucking cow, you know? I was like, this is a very interesting place to perform, but there was 13 people, man, and they all sat in the front row, and they were like one of the best audiences.
Sweating is brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Better than some shows that I performed in front of like 80 to 100 people. Like
Wow.
They were amazing. Like Grant got like he opened the show. He did 30 minutes, dude. And he got like 2 applause breaks in his set, and I was just like, holy shit! You know? They were very fun, and they were just down to earth, like just people, man. They were like this, like people who would be watching Netflix on TV.
Right.
Instead of going out and actually seeing live comedy, you know, and they get there. So it's very interesting to do like because it's the lowest circuit is like breweries, wineries, distilleries.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Those
there.
can be
It's
such
alive.
fun, though.
But yeah, it's a great place to go out and like hone your skills and like work on material and like work 40 minutes. You know.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I've been doing that a lot this year.
Doing
I've
40?
worked in every region in America this year: Pacific Northwest, West, South, Midwest, and the East Coast.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's the whole little North.
So I've been
American
busy,
circuit,
you know.
yeah.
I've just been really busy. So like Austin's been great in the sense that I am getting stage time in town, but like moving to Texas made me more centralized to the rest of the country, so that way I can access more of the road. That was like kind of my idea. So I want to be a road comic, and I'm working the road a bunch. So like that's what I'm focused on, you know. So then when I come into town, it's good to have spots and have people that I know, and then slowly working into the Austin scene. But I'm getting to do the road a bunch, which is like what I've always wanted to do.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, hey, man. Cheers.
Shouldn't do it with water, but
It's kind of funny, yeah. And it's nice to have you back in San Diego for sure.
dude, it's good to be back in San Diego. I've been like all the shows that I've done this week have been such a blast, and getting to work some of the new material and then just having fun, you know.
I think it was you might have been the one who told me that if you want to make it as a headliner in San Diego, you have to leave, and then you come back, and then you can be a headliner.
I don't know necessarily about like a
So
headliner,
maybe
but I just think
might not
like
have been you. Like
at some point, man, you reach.
that's what I'm starting to feel. Definitely, I've only been localized like San Diego comedy strictly.
You're like a year into comedy, man.
Almost, yeah.
Just
I
focus
will-
on being funny.
That's a good.
That's what you should be worried about right now. You shouldn't be worried about anything else, but just getting up there and being funny and getting up there as much as possible.
I have the bug that like I just know it's bigger than just here, so you have to go and experience it in all these other places, and so realize like in time it'll
Yeah.
if it's meant to be it'll come, but
Yeah.
it's a fun little road. It's a fun journey, and yeah, if like I'm 10 months in like a week or something.
Yeah. Just focus on like like
Like
writing and
four-
getting up and
4 or
being
5
funny.
years, 6 years into
Me?
comedy.
Yeah, coming up in October, it'll be I think like 6 years that I've been doing comedy.
Cool. Yeah, we both have October dates. That's cool.
Yeah, I think I went up for the first time. I went up October 31st of 2016, 2017.
First show was a Halloween show.
I went up on my first open mic on Halloween.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was at a dive bar that I worked at. And
Okay.
there was 2 people in the audience. There was a 69-year-old lady who was a comic in the scene. Her name was Tanya Morales, and she was asleep at her table. And this construction worker who I smoked a blunt with in the parking lot before the open mic. That's who the audience was. And
That's awesome.
I went up and bombed for 2 minutes and 34 seconds, and I bailed.
There you go.
And the guy who
Were you working
hosted the
that
open
night?
mic was this guy named Dave Yates, and he said, "Hey man, that's the worst you'll ever be. You know, just keep going." And
Shouts out to Dave.
Dave was I love Dave. Buy Ha Ha hot sauce. He makes a really good hot sauce.
Ha ha hot sauce. That's a good name.
Yeah, it's like a really good like Carolina Reaper, I think.
Okay. I can't tell the difference in any of that stuff. There's no spicy's good.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like it spicy.
Just know how it tastes.
Yeah. Know how it feels in my butt.
But yeah.
It's stupid.
I mean, I came into town just to do shows a week early because it's my mom's 50th birthday next week.
Really?
Yeah, so like...
That's cool. My mom recently turned 50.
Yeah.
That's about like this year, actually.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It's about that
Oh
time.
yeah, that's okay. That's cool, a little similar stuff. Where's your mom out these days?
She lives in Simi Valley. Like, it's like an hour north of LA.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You see me?
Simi Valley.
You see me? Nah, you don't. I'm just kidding. Faced. I don't know. That's stupid. I have to do a little bit of recon. I'm just gonna plug this into that, and I forgot my ADHD is kicking in full effect right now. This podcast is brought to you by Liquid Death. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, right, yeah. Sometimes it loses connection, so I was gonna double check that. And then this is
May I
done.
have a cigarette?
Yes, please. Yeah, thank you. Go for it.
Hey.
Come here, bud. Stay. Alright, cool. Yeah, we just need to be flowing. Alright, another beautiful day in San Diego. Here with the... I think Bravo, this is my 320th video on my channel, which is cool.
You like to count things, man.
I like to count things, man. Let's see, it's my 300...
I don't need that. I need a light.
Oh, it'll be my 322nd set.
Thank you.
And alright, I just recently did my 322nd set, which is kind of funny. Like right there in the middle is like 321, which has always been such a funny number. This is the one thing you said not to bring up. That is funny. Anyway, so I hear you said it's been hot in Austin, like
Yeah.
crazy hot,
Yeah, I think the hottest I got was like 112 the other day.
and there's a record or something that you broke.
Oh, no, like the streak of how many days it's been over 100 degrees is like 39 or 40 days, which is, I think, like a record.
Whoa.
I saw it somewhere.
So how's the San Diego?
Don't quote me on it, but...
No worries. How's the San Diego life treating you comparatively?
Oh, the weather's fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it wasn't so expensive to fucking live here.
Yeah, it's one of the. I'm definitely feeling the dauntingness of financial.
But it's funny because like I got into town and I lived here. I never wanted to go to the beach, and the first thing I thought was like I might want to go to the beach on this trip.
We should go to the beach.
I don't want to go with you.
Okay.
No offense, but
Yeah.
just some me time with the beach.
No,
you know?
I get it. I'm gonna throw this here. I don't want one to. Oh man, that is funny.
But it's like, yeah, it's silly things like that where it's like, there's things that I took for granted when I lived here,
Mhm.
and now that I'm
Yeah, you don't have
dying in
those
the
amenities aren't as readily available.
yeah, it's just gross. You're always sweaty. I just feel, I feel icky all the time.
Well, you told me something funny about like you have to bring pants, like extra pants to shows.
Yeah, dude, I have to wear shorts, and then I'll bring a backpack with me with a spare change of clothes. Because
I think you're not alone in this. Like
No,
this is
yeah, it's just what
it's a standard practice.
I
Bro.
feel like that's just what you do.
Shorts all day,
I-
showtime.
I
Is there a rule against shorts in comedy?
In Austin, people go up on stage with shorts, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking get it, but I can't do it. I can't get myself to do it because all the old vets used to hassle,
That's a
rip
thing.
on people
That's a
so
thing, right?
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like it just kind of like ingrained, and I don't know. I've been told like it's an outdated bullshit thing, but it's like for me.
Some people said don't wear hats.
It just
Wear hats all the
Ralphie
time.
May said don't wear hats.
Ralphie said don't wear hats.
Yeah, be clean shaven. Like he goes, you want them to look at like your face. That you don't want to distract them with anything, which I get.
Ralphie's face is distracting in 17 regards by itself. So
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
That's
So
funny.
I don't know. It's like
I think just maybe being more authentic to you and whatever,
yeah, really, you're just trying to get comfortable up there. Whatever makes you feel most comfortable, So
I
you
think
can be funny. Like,
Yeah.
and if you're like,
That's the
it's
important
just
part.
if something is going to be distracting that you're about you physically or whatever, like you have to be so funny that you can combat that. I think I don't know how that works. I'm stoned.
I dig
I'm
that.
talking out of my ass.
I give that a solid 8 out of 10 as far as explanations
My
go.
thoughts on the moment are that. But
when did you first realize that you wanted to get, or that you loved comedy? Like an early recollection.
dude, when I was what's crazy is my mom, like when I was 9, took me to see George Lopez at the Heart of Texas Fair with like a bunch of Mexicans.
Oh wow!
So it was wild, you know.
Oh,
and
shit.
so I saw the power of that early on, and like I mean Jim Carrey was
live,
like,
yeah,
it's live, right? Like but like Jim Carrey before that was like I wanted to be the funny guy because of Jim Carrey my entire childhood. You know, I used to like get in trouble in school for doing monologues from Liar Liar, where I was like, the pen is blue, the goddamn pen is blue, and I'd write all over myself.
Blue.
Yeah, you know, shit like that. But
Yeah.
and then,
See,
but so and then like my mom would take me to see stand up. Like my mom took me to see Dane Cook when I was like 15 at the Staples Center, right when we moved to California.
Right.
In 8th grade,
Oh, wow.
me
That's
and my
like early.
friends,
Wow,
back in
that's
the
cool.
old days of like, yeah, there's parts where he was like talking about how like his girlfriend has like she wants to get rape fetish, and my mom just like looked at me, and like we looked at each other, and we were like, let's just never talk about this ever again, you know, because I was young and like, it was weird, but you know, my mom was super cool like
You're
that. Where
15,
she
you're
wanted
like a
me to
young
show these things. She wanted to laugh together, and
that's really
she
cool.
saw the importance of like laughter, right? And so we've always done that, you know, and we still do that. Like on New Year's, she surprised me with Ron White tickets when we were in Vegas. So we still see comedy together, you know. It's
That's
like
so
that's something
beautiful.
that me and my mom have always bonded over. So it's like, you know, trying to like. So and then in 8th grade, like getting like into Friday night stand up. Like Comedy Central would run 30 minutes, from 8 o'clock at night until 3 in the morning. So we're talking about like The Amazing Jonathan and
That was my
you know
favorite time.
fucking Mitch Hedberg's 30 minutes and like seeing shit like that. And so we would sit there,
loved-
Brian Regan, you know. All
I can
these
relate to
great-
you on that part for sure.
So that's me and my friends. Every Friday night, we'd order a big old fucking pizza and get some 2 liters, and we would sit and just watch comedy all night. And I always thought, like, I don't even know how you fucking get there. Like, how do you even become that and shit, you know?
You gotta know somebody.
And then I worked at this stupid dive bar in Huntington Beach, California, and I never came there on a Tuesday night, and then I had to work a Tuesday night, and there was a comedy open mic.
Right.
I was just like, oh shit, like this is how you start.
That's it.
And then the hosts, you would see me like watching the mic, and he's like, you ever wanted to do this? And I was like, yeah. He's like, promise me you'll come back next week and just try it. And it happened to be Halloween, and that's the first time I went up.
It's pretty cool, man.
But yeah, I mean, and a lot of it, like in that sense where I was, you know, I think like a lot of it, I think my mom would be really proud of me if I could be the guy.
You've always been the funny kid growing up, though. Or at least, like, did you...
Not intentionally.
It was
I
just
wanted to be funny, but like, you know, I don't think that like I actually was. I think the things when I wasn't trying that were funny to people really pissed me off because I wasn't trying to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know
well,
what
that's
I mean?
the thing, yeah, like...
But then you learn to like embrace that shit and then be like, all right, well...
It's almost a curse you can use to your advantage if you figure out how to do it right.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, I was always a weirdo or like just a goofy kid, but I think I was pretty funny, so I could fit in with any crowd.
Yeah.
Whereas like goth kids, football kids, whatever, like it was always just sort of this in between. And when you're funny, like you either go for the joke and everybody laughs at you, or you go for the joke and then they don't laugh and you're ridiculed. There's like 2 ways that can go. So that happened a lot, and over the years, it's just like a finiting, like turning that.
Well, right when I was
kinda
like
goofy
20,
energy.
23, like when I started like really getting into comedy and shit and thinking about doing it or whatever, like I like there was like a group of friends that I had that we all hung out at this bar, and like we would say, you know, we would just tell stories and shit with each other, and like these stories from my childhood started like crushing with my friends.
Right.
And then I was just like, oh shit, you know, maybe I could do this. Like yeah. And so it's like I think everyone has that moment where they're like, oh fuck, you know, I might be onto something.
I might have something here.
And then a lot of people give it a shot and then they never quit, and they
That's
should.
Yeah.
You know, it's not for everybody, but
yeah, there's 2 quotes I have on
I've
that.
been working very hard at it, and I would like to think that I'm a good comedian, but I don't know.
I think you're funny.
Thanks.
I appreciate you.
But that's how I feel, you know. It's like I still, you know, all the time I'm wrestling with am I really funny?
I feel that. I believe I can quote Mark Normand when he said, he was quoting somebody else, but he still said it. So, stand-up is how you control how people laugh at you.
Mm.
Very yeah, something like, I might have paraphrased it slightly, but it's like the way to put yourself in the position of power where it's like, yeah, I know there's things about me that are like, you know, that you might make fun of or try to like, you know, be mean about it. But if I take advantage and take the whole like reins, then I'm in control of the situation.
Yeah, it definitely has that power to like, you know, it's kind of like alchemy in a sense. You're taking a negative thing and you're turning it into a positive thing.
That's a beautiful way to look at it.
That's sometimes how I think of it because, like, you know, back then it hurt really bad. Yeah, but to look at it now and to have people laugh and be like, "Hey, you're not crazy," right? You know, like that feels good.
I feel
it does.
that, yeah.
You know, and I don't try to use the stage as therapy at all. I'm trying to be funny, you know, but it can have that power.
It can almost happen naturally though, if you're really putting out stuff that means something to you, and then there was this point in your life where that was this really dark energy in it, but now it's like, yeah, it happened. I dealt with it, and now I'm gonna give you a little.
I kind of see it like alchemy, you know.
You know, it's like the frosting on a poison cake, but the frosting's good.
Yeah. Yeah. You're using it for good. Instead of, you know, destroying yourself.
I like that. Fuck. Yeah, because you could easily let that internalize and then, you know, turn into something else.
And there's a reason why we talk about the shit we talk about.
I think, you know, maybe we were born to be jesters. It's just,
I don't know.
One of those things. You think we'd be jesters like back in the olden days?
No, I don't know.
What would your 14th century dream job be? I think everyone's.
I think a blacksmith would be pretty badass.
Pretty cool.
Making weapons, I don't want to use them, but I'll make them for you.
I was thinking everybody's is king. I want to be king.
I think that like they were really. I think blacksmiths were respected even though they were still kind of lower class.
Yeah, they were utilized by the army. Yeah, they made all the swords and shields. Like,
yeah,
if you made the sword that won the war,
job, yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't want to fight and die. You know what I mean? I'm valuable right here. You know?
Yeah, right.
Keep me right here, dude. Just keep me here.
I'd hate to be the drummer boy. Going into battle, like the horn kid.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, let them know we're here.
You know, there's already so many people that have talked about it, but what a ridiculous fucking job.
It's so stupid.
But yeah.
Poor kids. I don't know, man. Yeah, that was it's a wild time. Good old. Makes me wonder if like we've really grown at all as people. Like we're still pretty barbaric, but at least we're not as showboaty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like some king on a high horse. Like
I don't know.
Maybe fights should be more like that. Two commanders walking up and you know they talk real quick, and then they're like, "Nah, we got beef," and then they go back to their little lines and send everybody in.
Yeah, just send out like the strongest guy, and if that guy dies, we lose.
I think that's a cool thing. Yeah, that's a great way to fight.
Yeah, well.
Hands on. Back in the day when you had a sword and you trained, you had a chance to live. You were really athletic and you worked really hard, and you know you were a great swordsman. You could survive battle even being smaller. But nowadays, you give anybody a gun and they have a gun, they're hiding in the bushes, and you're like, that's it, just go, like, game over. You could train your whole life. It's like the whole thing's an Indiana Jones scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really like the what if game, man, because there's a lot of what ifs.
There's a wild one. What if I never asked that question? Speaking of questions, I had a couple things I wrote down for you. Shoot. What's your earliest memory of comedy?
Nice.
Yeah, that was great. That was the one thing I wrote down.
That's the one thing?
Yeah.
All right.
No, I had something else too. Like it was. This was kind of like. I'm sure you've heard about the fires that went on Maui.
Sure.
So there's like I've been reading a bunch of. I was on TikTok for like 7 hours the other day.
Yeah.
As we do, but I read that the police chief, his name was John Pelletier. It might be Pelletier. I don't know, but he was the police commander during the Las Vegas shooting on October 1st.
Okay.
And I thought that was a crazy coincidence.
Is it?
I think so. There's also no elaboration to that.
Bro, if I was, you know, whatever, like, for the whole Las Vegas thing, I want to move to Maui, too, after all that shit.
Bad luck or something fishy's going on?
Man, there's always something fishy going on, but I don't know anything about that, man, you know?
That's fair. I did read. This is just kind of cool.
I just feel bad for all the people that are still missing, and the families and that are affected, and the land, which it's gonna take a lot to rebuild all that. And dude, what I do know is that greedy people are trying to go in there and seize that land, and that's wrong. And there is some fishy shit going on with that for sure. And but
yeah, obviously to all the families that were affected, like it's a terrible thing. But yeah, there's property developers trying to come in and take the real estate.
Yeah, which is bullshit.
And then
from these people that have been there forever.
Yeah, all the locals, like
classic American.
But I'll hear a bunch of the big Oprah's mansion, Bill Gates's mansion, several other multimillionaires, like their property didn't get touched at all.
There's a lot of people who live.
It's one of those
really rich people.
Remember the Sonoma fires? Like this, it was like in.
There's been so many fires. It feels like.
This was the one where like the wine country burned down, but it was like cars were melted and trees were still standing.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, so it's very.
I don't remember that. I don't really keep up with news anymore. It drives me crazy.
There's too much news.
Yeah.
They dropped aliens are real and no one cares, like, because everything's like there's so many. Like I want to know about Epstein's list. That's still like prevalent to me. I wish they would,
Yeah.
And, but that's like a whole thing in itself. But so in January, they had a smart city conference.
Smart city. Huh?
Yeah. So basically, it was the idea that Hawaii would be like the first state that ran entirely on like alternative fueling, like electrical or like wind turbines and everything's like not on the infrastructure that we use today. And in September, on September 25th, they're going to have the Digital Government Summit, which talks about the role of AI in government, and that's taking place in Hawaii on the 25th. Meanwhile, like they're seizing up all this land and changing everything that was into like what will be.
Yeah, now is a good time to go read Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. And read it while you can still read it.
Or 84.
Nah, we didn't really go in the Orwellian route. I think we're going more in a...
Brave New World, I would have to refresh on that one.
Yeah, I think we're headed more in that direction of the...
Have you seen Minority Report?
Dystopian... Yeah.
That whole, like, pre-crime kind of thing? The idea of like maybe you send a text.
It's a wild idea.
Yeah, it's a weird one, but definitely there are certain things coming to fruition. They say the idea that that the whatever they're called, the elites like have dropped pieces of information in our cinema, in our multimedia, so that we're able to like sort of ease the idea of that stuff onto us. So maybe like some of these movies you've seen over the years are like little displays
propaganda?
of like little pieces of it. They legalized propaganda a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Which was it was like they actually, I forget the name of the law, and I don't want to sound like I'm just bull spitting, but they passed a law that basically said that the government's allowed to like release information that's not of like true descent. So they're allowed to like put out news propaganda. That's why you're allowed to see stuff on TV. It's like not happening, but it's legalized because that was made illegal during the Reagan administration, I believe. Like the idea of like propaganda was eliminated from TV entirely, but now it's back. So like maybe everything we've been seeing for the last like decade or so, who knows what's actually been of truth and what's not been. So nobody really knows. And I think Hawaii was just like a weird kind of situation to just get thrown up. Like there's just a lot of questions with the I feel really bad for the kids. Like I have little brothers.
What's ridiculous is that Biden is not coming to the aid of American citizens.
$700 for each of them. He wants to send $64 billion to Ukraine. It's mind blowing. But so the kids, what happened that day is like, this is where it gets weird to me that I don't like. Earlier in the day, they sent all the kids home from school for like a wind advisory, and then all the kids were home. Then meanwhile, while all the parents are at work, like no sirens went off or any kind of like warning evacuation systems.
I mean, I don't really want to talk conspiracy, like if that's what you're talking about. Like
basically, it's there's some fishy shit. That's all. I don't know.
Yeah,
Hawaii.
So I don't want to speculate on things I don't know about.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I can appreciate
it's not fair to the people that are actually suffering over there.
No, but I do agree
to talk about shit that it diverts it from the actual issue.
But I do agree with your sentiment that we do need to be doing more for like the people that have suffered from that ordeal.
The government needs to be helping people more.
They need help, and locally. Like, I get that people need help everywhere, but there's certain things that should take precedence.
It's ridiculous, the response that it's getting. You know, it's insane.
You ever been to Hawaii?
I've not been to Hawaii yet.
I've never been to Hawaii.
Never been.
And I feel it's just like...
I would like to go someday. Yeah.
I think, yeah, it would take a little bit.
But, you know, I don't have vacation money or time.
My dad said Hawaii was the only place he ever got tan.
Yeah.
He was there for like a week. It did look kind of like me, just a little bigger and shorter.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy. But, yeah, that's cool, man. Trying to figure out a way to transition.
Was that all you had planned?
Pretty bad.
Talking about Hawaii.
I was on TikTok for like 12 hours, and I was like, yeah.
You gotta get off TikTok, man. You gotta live your life.
I really need to get off that thing. That algorithm has got me.
Yeah, I got a TikTok just to upload videos, but I don't even upload videos to it anymore. I'm just like, yeah, I might stand up. I'm just like, fucking, who cares?
I tried for a bit, yeah. Still posting stuff every now and then. I like this format. I like the idea of having people sit down. Probably should write more questions. But, I figure we just back and forth. Yeah. When did you, how old were you in, like, you had, like, your first, like, weed memory?
Damn, I mean, well, the first time I got high, I don't know the first time, I don't remember the first time I smoked, but...
I know the first time I smoked, the first time I got high, and they were not the same thing.
Yeah, the first time I got high, I was smoking with this guy named Brian Shuck. Actually, rest in peace, man. That guy passed away.
Really?
Yeah, he passed away already.
God rest his soul.
But yeah, we got high on top of a parking structure in Huntington.
Okay.
We were smoking out of a Dr. Pepper can. I don't know, I was probably like 15, 16.
Because I was 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had just bought these boots that he thought looked like Jim Morrison boots.
That's
what he called them. He called them his Jim Morrison boots.
I don't even know what that means.
He had been eyeing them in like this shop for like weeks.
Oh, really?
And he kept like coming in to like check on the price. Just
like in Wayne's World, just looking at the guitar.
I swear to God, yeah. He was obsessed with these shoes, and he went and bought them. He's like, "Let's go get high, man." And we crunched up a Dr. Pepper can and smoked out of it. I remember getting high and being like, "Oh fuck, dude."
Whoa.
Yeah. But that was the first time I got. I did the dumbest stoner move when I started really getting into it. My mom told me she was gonna be like really, really late. You know, coming home really late. And my buddy, who was like older than me, like one of the older kids in high school, he gave me a joint, and I decided to hotbox my closet. You know, the place with no ventilation, no windows,
the one spot,
all of my clothes. Yeah, that place.
Smart.
So I was blasting Black Sabbath and smoking a joint, and my mom came home earlier than she expected to be, and the only light on or any noise in the house was me in my closet, and she opened the door and like just bellowed out, and she's like, "Is that a cigarette? Is that a cigarette?" And I was like, "Nope." And then she's like, "We need to talk in the living room." And I took another hit.
What's up, mama?
And then I put it out.
That is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever got caught that hard smoking.
She started drug testing me, and what I would do is I would have her buy yellow vitamin water, and I'd keep it under my sink. And when she would drug test me, I would put yellow vitamin water into the drug test, and I passed every time. So I'd come home from smoking weed with my friends, and I'd be like,
"That works?"
Yeah, it worked for me. So,
she's like, "He's really healthy. He's full of antioxidants."
So I would come home smelling like weed, and
C.
she would be like, "You've been smoking." I'm like, "I will piss test right now." And then I'd come up, like, you know, I'd pass the test, and then she'd be like, "All right, I don't know how you're doing it, but you're up to something."
You're up to something, young man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. She's the Candace from Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I found loopholes to get around to, you know, do what I wanted to do.
I remember I was 12 years old. I was hanging out with my buddy Elijah, and we found a pack of Newports on his parents' like on the porch, and we noticed one of them was like a blunt, like a half-smoked blunt, and we didn't really know what that was, but we went over to this little place downtown. They called it the Teen Center, and we showed it to some older kids, and they were like, "Oh, cool! Let's go in the woods." So we went out in the woods and we smoked this thing. We didn't get stoned, but then 3 years later, I remember I smoked a joint, with my friends Jake and Nate, and we're in the back of a pickup truck, like one of those pickups with the roof, the little roof thing, and sat in the back and we smoked this joint. And I remember looking at the fence behind us, and it looked like it was moving. I thought we were moving, and I went like, okay, something's happening. So we went to the mall, and I think I ran into like one of my teachers, and I was like, and then couldn't pull it together. We just ran through the mall like delinquents, and then I don't remember too much after, but that was fun, man. I saw Aliens with that kid. First time I ever saw Aliens was with Nate. Actually, I shouldn't even say it, like I've seen it multiple times. That was the one. I saw Aliens when I was probably 16 years old with that kid and his girlfriend. It was crazy. There was 3 saucers in the air, and then one disappeared, one went up, and one went to the side.
Oh, I thought you meant the movie Aliens. The first time I saw Aliens, and I was just like, the movie, like with your, that's cool. I was like, how did we get to this? What the fuck are we talking about?
No, dude, that's hilarious. His dad was this commander in the Air Force. Yeah, so we literally met a bunch of kids in the parking lot. Like, you see the aliens though? I don't know why the 2 was weird there, but anyway, went to his dad. He was this naval Air Force commander dude, and we asked him to check if they did any like flights or simulations or tests, and he checked. They didn't do anything as far as they told us. So that was definitely like, whoa, something out there. Because it's in Wyoming too, you know, like in the middle of that seems like the place those things happen. What's that movie? The Steven Spielberg film, Fire in the Sky? No,
yeah, that's a great one.
It's a great film. I don't think that's what I'm talking about, because it's the one where there's like a base on top of the Devil's Tower. Remember that one? Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah, my grandparents heavily believe. My whole entire life they've been talking about aliens.
That's the you can see that it's the Devil's Tower in Wyoming.
Yeah.
My brother was graduating college. We drove past it. Took a little selfie. Fucking aliens. Back to you, Walter. Like,
oh, I'm good right now.
Alright, cool.
I thought you were talking about movies, man. I'm
That's so
fucking
funny.
stoned. Yeah.
I just tore like 6 things in my shoulder. Oh, I'm not very agile anymore. It's weird. Are you 30 yet?
I'll be 30 in December.
I'll be 30 in November.
Nice.
What's it like riding out your 20s? Like you're at the end of the line. What was your
man,
your
I'm
20s,
happy it's
man?
over.
Yeah?
Yeah. I look forward to my 30s, man.
That
Slowing down, being a little bit more responsible, getting my shit together. Like.
I like that.
But yeah, I did it right, man.
It was a good run?
Yeah, my 20s were wild. From heroin and meth to stand-up comedy, dude.
To stand-up comedy. Yeah, it's funny how
decade of
it's funny how 10 years can change.
Yeah.
I had a shaved head 10 years ago.
Oh my God, yeah.
I don't know if you can imagine it, but I did.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, physically
Yeah.
people change. Yes.
That was I meant more than that, but yeah.
Okay.
That is funny. No, yeah, just the idea. California grew on me. It's always been an idea, like an idealistic vision.
Yeah.
Because I grew up on the East Coast. It's like, what is this place? It's always it's represented so one of a kind in movies and cinema and TV. It's like this magical, everybody's hot and there's a beach everywhere and
Yeah.
I don't know.
I had a brief stint in that lifestyle, man. I played in bands and
Yeah.
you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to see a photo of me when I was a lead singer in a band?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna trip out, dude.
I would love to.
I showed this photo to a coworker of mine in Austin, and he was like, "Dude, you should get back on heroin." You looked great. I was like, I'm about to turn 30, and people are telling me that I looked healthier on dope. That's hilarious.
It seems to show me somebody on dope who's like not attractive. Besides like late Jim Morrison. But that's when he got clean.
Here it is.
I guess it was a great interview of it.
That's me. When I was 20 years old. 10 years ago. Right?
Really?
That's me, man.
Can I show?
Yeah. Go for it.
This is what we're looking at, people. I think that should be a good side angle. Wow. Yeah, you looked great, bro.
telling you.
But you look good now. Like, you're you. You know? Like...
Look, man, we don't need to fucking paint this turd. I got it. I understand where I'm at. I'm fine. I like chili cheese too much, man.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
It's just like a dude.
I'm gonna eat chili cheese and drink beer. Like,
you look like you love yourself. Like, I love that.
Oh, that's, I mean,
yeah.
I tolerate myself. We get through it. We get through it.
Your body's tolerating chili cheese. I could go for some chili cheese. That sounds really good. On like a hot dog.
Sorry.
Oh, you're
I
good.
feel it's very rude, but it's dusty.
Oh, yeah, no worries. This is all a makeshift. Yeah. I appreciate it, yeah. I should have checked the timer. But it's been pretty fun. Ooh, little plane going overhead. You know what that means. Cheers, everybody. Might even have viewers. So when you were in a band,
Yeah.
did you write music, or did you just play instruments?
I wrote. I played. I only learned how to play guitar so that way I could write my own songs. And I went to performing arts school when I was a kid, and so some of the guys that I met in performing arts school, we formed a band, and we were on and off for a while. But then right around when I was like 19, 20, we really took we got back together and we took it seriously, and we we ended up making a kick-ass album 2 years later. But
Okay.
yeah, no. Sorry, what was the question?
The original question, was do you write music?
Oh yeah, we wrote. Me and the guitar player were the main writers, but I brought a lot of songs, and then he brought a few of his. It was kind of like a Beatles, Paul and John kind of situation,
I like
where
that.
we were we wrote all the songs, and we had really great rhythm section.
Okay. Then the drummer and the bassist, they wrote songs. They just go in the fridge.
No, I mean, there's a few songs that were.
Were you a 4-pack or a trio?
We were 4.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
There's a few songs that pretty much Adam brought. He's the bass player. Remember you met him
Oh,
after
yeah.
Don't Tell. That guy. That was the bass player in my band.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's how we go back. Me and him started playing music together when I don't know. He was 12 and I was 15.
Oh, that's a trip.
And so we've been friends since then. We slept in tour vans and
That's cool.
did that whole musician gigging thing, and he's touring the world now, and I'm so proud of him. And
That's amazing.
but yeah, it was fun. It was fun playing music, and I got to live that. I got to be young and hot and in front of a bunch of fuck a bunch of girls who only wanted to fuck me because my band was on a flyer in front of the record shop that they like. You know what
That's
I mean?
cool. Yeah. It's a different lifestyle.
Yeah, so my 20s were wild. I did all the things that you would want to do in the prime of your life, and now I'm ready to
How did it switch over to comedy?
do this.
Like,
Well, I was fucking up, with drugs.
Okay.
And hiding it from my band members, and I had a girlfriend at the time who they fucking hated. They just despised her because when she was around, she kind of just micromanaged.
oh.
She's one of those. She was a Yoko. It was a Yoko situation. So I was like,
You're very Beatles.
yeah. Yeah, and one night we got into a fight where the guitar player, he was like, "You're a fucking glorified karaoke singer," and I was like, "Fuck you."
Oh, wow, yeah,
And I
right.
walked, and that was it.
And that was it for...
And then I tried to do a solo thing, and it just didn't take. And no one, they kept playing they continued on as a trio, which they still play today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're doing a world tour in November, so.
They replaced you with Spider.
Well, they didn't need me, man. That's the truth.
You each found a way on your own path.
And that's fine. I wasn't good enough, man. And if I continued down that path, I would have destroyed myself a long time ago.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Comedy kind of saved me, man. There was that was when I was 21, and then there was a 2-year period where I just didn't do anything creatively, for the first time in my entire life.
Oh, wow.
And it was just I was living in Brea, California, and I got a job at a Domino's in Huntington Beach, so I was taking the bus 3 hours each way.
Oh my god.
So I was taking the bus 6 hours a day. So I was listening to a lot of comedy and like writing a lot of jokes, like observational shit I saw on the bus. You know, that's how it really. And I was just like, that is something that I was like, I need a creative outlet, and that was just something I could do, right?
You're a creator, yeah.
And then yeah, when that open mic came across my path, I was like, oh, perfect.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
So
it's funny how
that's how that it just it was just something that I'd always wanted to do, but never in a million years thought I would do it. I thought musical was the more practical route for me as a creative person. Wrong.
Would you ever touch it again?
Not professionally.
Just for like, yeah.
I pick up a guitar sometimes if it's around, and it's just to fucking mess around on it, you know?
That's cool.
I just like enjoying music, and like my relationship with that is that, you know, I just enjoy it, and I don't have to like worry about it being like, you know, like, oh, I was a terrible musician. Like, just like my relationship with music is better now because it's like I don't even worry about that shit anymore.
Had that not happened though, then like who knows if you when you got into comedy, like everything falls into a place.
Yeah, and I mean the reason why I stopped doing hard drugs was because like I started doing comedy, I was like, you can't go on stage all lit up like that, you know, like, and plus hard drugs, like, it's an isolating thing.
Yeah.
I was struggling so hard, like, on and off, trying to get off that shit, you know, and comedy was just like, this is a no-brainer. That, like, and it felt, like, the rush of it was, you know, like a drug in itself to me, you know, like, with an addictive person, yeah, you know, so chasing that dragon instead of the other one.
It's a catchable dragon.
It kind of saved me, you know. It gave me the perspective to be like, no, like the grass is greener if you can just, you know. And then like that's what shifted for me. And
that is a huge difference in comedy. Like it's a lot. You can go and play a set lit up, and you'll probably do okay. Probably get through it. You'll play better sober, but you can do it. Like,
no, I just mean like, you know.
And then the same doing a show. It's not like the same outlet, like, because the eyes are all just, they're so focused
you could do it, but it's just like
could, and I'm sure people have.
I wanted to be I wanted to take it seriously,
and
I knew that if I was going to be, you know, drugging, then, and I've made mistakes with like now like booze and comedy where like I was like, oh, that's so embarrassing, you know, and it's just like I will for sure be sober in the future, you know, like I said, I'm writing out this whole 20s thing, but I'm ready to fucking move on, man. I'm tired. My 20s have made me tired, you know?
I feel that. I don't think we're alone. I think there's a lot of people in our boat. But yeah.
Fuck it, man. I don't regret a single thing. You know? That's what's important.
We met in our 20s. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Say that forever.
Yeah.
Pretty neat, man.
Well, you want to put a bow on this thing?
Sure, dude. Wrap this all doohickey up.
Yeah. Do you have any?
Anything less? Anything you want to plug or?
When is this gonna? Oh well, it's live.
Yeah, it's happening now.
It's just gonna stay there. Well, I don't know. If you are watching this in San Diego, I have some more shows. I'm gonna be at Madhouse all weekend doing 4 shows. Tonight I'm on Best Of in San Diego, which is my favorite room to perform in. It's the stage I feel most comfortable on, I think. So that's, if you want to come out, it's gonna be a fun time. What else? No, just follow me on Instagram, and you know,
link is in the description.
I got road stuff for the rest of the year already in the books. So like, you know, September, November, and December I have some road dates. So if you're out there, look me up.
Check them out. Rafael DeCamargo on the way up.
Thanks for having me.
Happy to have him on the podcast today. Yeah. Thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome. Dude.
Appreciate you.
No problem.
This has been another episode of the Galactic Seabass channel with your host Sebastian Fowler, as always, signing off. We will be back next Thursday with another one. Could have some videos in the meantime, so please subscribe, hit the like button, give this guy a follow, and we're gonna go ahead and say adios, au revoir, bonjour, except for that's also French, but that's the wrong one. And I would like to wish you all